Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to Fire Talk, where we give you the latest news updates on Southeastern University athletics. I'm Ken Ingle, president of Southeastern University, and joining me as always, Drew Watson, our director of athletics. Good to see you, Drew. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Coming off spring break. Did you go anywhere?
I was in California, but it wasn't for fun. It was
Right.
did some business out there, but yeah, was able to at least get back home out there for a few days. It was nice.
Well, you understand very quickly in higher ed that the students get spring break off.
Yes, the students do.
Unless you're an athlete. If you're a spring athlete, you're here all week.
You're
when
playing.
when you're working in higher ed, that's a week to catch up and get some things done that is not in the regular rhythm. So
absolutely
glad you had a good break.
Sure. Yeah, it was good. It was nice. Let's get right into it. We have a lot going on in fire athletics this week, but first we need to highlight a huge accomplishment. I mean, this is big. Happened since our last podcast, but wrestler Gage Braun won his second NAIA National Championship in 3 years. That happened just a few weeks ago on March 8th. I know you were there. What was that like?
Well, the wrestling tournament is unlike any other. You've got 8 mats down. You've got 200 some odd wrestlers. It's organized chaos is what it is. And Gage wrestles in the 285-pound weight class, but he's more like 208, 210. So he's wrestling some really big guys, but he breezed through the bracket and had no problem in the championship. He was wrestling actually a guy that he had wrestled earlier this year from Central Methodist here on campus when we had the fire duels. But yeah, I mean, he won 9-1. And we have a video of him, finishing out this match. So it's 8-1 here, and he is the winner.
Oh, that's great.
8-0. I thought the other kid had gotten an escape point, but that did not indicate that on the screen.
No, it did not indicate that.
I was trying to get the video ringside, but yeah, we're gonna have. We're going to talk to Gage.
Oh, that'd be great.
Actually coming up here on our next show.
Next week.
That'd
be awesome. Well, we're proud of Gage and all his accomplishments. And, so it'll be exciting. And we did have 8 All-Americans?
Yes, 8 All-Americans. It's a program record. We had 6 and 6 the last 3 years, but we had 8, which 8 of the 12 wrestlers made All-Americans. So really proud of the team. Travis Patrick is doing a great job with that program, and just really, really fun to see the guys succeed at that level.
Yeah, outstanding. Well, let's get into some spring sports where I believe everybody seems to be doing pretty good.
Yeah, we have ranked teams in baseball at number 3, softball number 16, men's and women's tennis number 4 in the country, men's golf 20, women's golf 11. As well as our outdoor track and field teams who are just getting started this season. They start this weekend.
Well, let's talk a little bit about softball. The team's off to a blazing start, 21-3. Last weekend, they swept a 3-game series with Warner, winning 9-1, 6-0, and then 9-3 to start the conference season 3-0. Tell us a little bit more what's happening with the team.
Well, they're playing well in all 3 phases. The 3 games they've lost, I think Coach would say you can point to defensive miscues or they didn't adjust on a certain pitcher. But 21-3 is our best start in program history. But you've got a lot of players doing some good things. Rayleigh McKinney has 6 homers, 29 RBI. Leah Gonzalez 4 homers, 22. Ella Brooks she hit an inside the park homer a couple weeks ago on a 200-foot field. That's really hard to do, so you got to be really fast. But we're getting great pitching from our staff. 2 pitchers already with 10 wins.
Wow.
It's just really remarkable to see what this team's doing.
Wow, big weekend series, Coastal Georgia.
Yeah, we host the Mariners from Coastal Georgia. Their Sun regular season champs the last 2 years. We've struggled with them in the regular season the last few years, but this team, Mariners team coming in, they're 18-7, 3-3 in the Sun. They don't look quite to be as strong as they've been in past years, but this is a really big series for us as we head into the season.
And I'm sure it's going to be a good indication with this series being so early, kind of how they'll head the rest of the way.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, we've got the Friday doubleheader at 2 and 4 p.m., then a single game on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, well, a great series. I hope everybody comes out and supports the team. You don't want to miss it.
Nope.
Let's talk about tennis. Men, red hot. Team's now 8-0 after a 5-2 win over number 15 Middle Georgia State on Monday. Has a remarkable 5 shutouts on the season. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, they're finding ways to win and leaning on some familiar faces. Diego Menendez won his 100th career match in a Fire uniform on Monday, becoming the first player in program history to do that. He's 7-0. Javier Gallego is 5-0. Piero Fernandez is 5-1. But they have really been, from what I understand, was talking to Coach, they were off on Monday, but still they were off in their game. They're a little rusty maybe, and gave Middle Georgia some hope that they were going to win, and then slammed the door on them late. So. Yeah. Fun to see them doing so well.
Yeah, when you're playing well, you're winning. You want to keep out there. So what's next?
We have 2 big matches this weekend, both at home, both conference matches. St. Thomas on Friday and Kaiser on Saturday, both at 1 p.m. over at Bierman Tennis Complex. The Bobcats are struggling. They're 2-8 this year, but matches with them are always intense. And Kaiser comes in on Saturday as the number 3 team in the country. We're number 4, as I said. So that should be a really good one.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. Men, I mean, they've been doing good, but the women too. I mean, they're 11-4, and right?
Yeah,
7 shutouts on the season. Beat Middle Georgia State on Monday as well. What's going on with them?
Well, it's remarkable what the women are doing. I was just talking with one of the men's tennis players before the show. I mean, they're 7-0, as we said. The women are 11-4. They played double the matches that the men have, and most of them are ranked opponents. And Monday against Middle Georgia, number 6 team, as you said, in the country, we had a couple players out with sickness. And I don't think Coach expected to win that match just because we were shorthanded, and we handled them. Yeah. So really fun to see what the women are doing here.
And if you need any help with any match, especially on the men's side, just let me know. I'll step in.
We'll get you over here.
I love tennis.
Yes,
love to play tennis. Of course, I had the Achilles set me back a little bit, but it's doing great now. And so
do you and Karen play?
Yeah, all the time.
It's good.
So she was the captain of the women's tennis team in Grasslands.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you set up for matches over there like you do for our matches?
Do I?
Like, do you watch her play? Do you go over and watch her play?
Every once in a while, I will. It depends
That's
on.
cool.
Yeah, it just depends on the schedule. But
now, are you guys and will you be able to get out there this weekend?
We're going to try. Actually, no, I'm out of town.
You're out of town.
Yep,
okay.
Yep. I am out of the state.
Well, I know you like to keep posted on these things.
Yeah,
so I'll let
we
you know
definitely
what's
will
going
catch
on.
up. Yeah, that'd be great. And women are playing same thing. St. Thomas Kaiser this weekend.
Number 14 for St. Thomas on the women's side. They're better than their male counterparts at St. Thomas right now. Women are number 1 in the country on the Kaiser side of things. So that's going to be a real good challenge for us. Okay. See how we do.
Well, hope everybody can come out and catch the action this weekend. It'd be great.
Definitely.
Baseball team is 23-3 right now.
Yes.
Yeah, they started 20-0, but have gone 3-3 in the last 6 games. Past weekend had the Sun opener against Warner, and then split the series 2 games apiece. Tell us a little bit about them.
Well, we play 4-game series in the Sun. We won the first 2 games. The first one was epic. Thursday night, went 13 innings. We took a lead in that game. They tied it in the 7th, and then nobody scored until the 13th when this happened. A grand slam from Fonzie Villalobos.
First pitch from Chenard. That ball hit deep
First
left
pitch
field, and
into the night down there in Lake Wales. And
gone.
It's not a walk-off because we're away, but
a grand slam.
it held up for an
Villalobos.
11-7 win.
Wow.
So that is actually, we had a walk-off grand slam earlier in the year at home.
Right.
This grand slam, and then the next day we had a grand slam. So it seems to be something this team likes to do.
That's great. And when I look at the standings, there's a 5-way tie for first place in the conference?
Yes, technically, there's an 8-way tie because
wow.
all 8 teams are at 500.
Okay.
So you have 6 teams that are 2-2, and you have another 2 teams that are 4-4. So technically, I referred to it as a 5-way tie, but it is actually an 8-way tie because they're all at 500.
Right, they're all at 5, yeah.
So it's, Sun Conference baseball is phenomenal as far as where we stand nationally. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top.
And one of the strong teams, Weber.
Yep.
And they're coming in this weekend,
They're coming this weekend. They are ranked, I believe, 7th.
Yeah.
We are 3rd. And so they split a series with Kaiser last weekend at home. It's an in-county rivalry. And, we've got some commonalities there.
Yeah,
so
it'll
it
be
should
great.
be intense.
Now, when are the games again?
They are 6 p.m. Tomorrow on Thursday.
Okay.
And then a 2 o'clock doubleheader on Friday, and then a noon series finale on Saturday.
All right, sounds good. Okay, we have softball, men's and women's tennis, now baseball at home this weekend. Plenty of action. So.
All top matchups with rivals. So
yeah, we got to get out there. It's going to be a great weekend.
Absolutely.
And then last but not least, we turn to men's and women's golf. The men had the week off, so we'll just highlight the women who played in the Barry Invitational, came in 9th out of 10 teams who played well for us.
Maria Stevens played best for us this past week. Madeline Campbell, they both guided the team. It was a tough field, and I know Coach Joyner likes to play up in the regular season to prepare the team for conference and national play.
Yeah, and I understand that philosophy, but as a former coach, do you see any risks in that kind of strategy? I mean,
there could be, because it could shellac your confidence a little bit.
Sure.
So by the time you get to those key moments, you're not feeling good about your game.
Right.
But I think that's all on a coach. If coach is, I think coach does a good job with this. If he is setting that schedule, he's got to set it up before, during, and after matches, so that you're going into that postseason experience knowing, like, hey, you struggled, but look who you played against. Let's focus on our individual game and playing well as a team. And usually it works out.
Yeah, and I can see how important the coach's role in that is.
Yeah.
Very important. So
if you don't do it,
exactly,
it turns into something not good.
Absolutely. Well, hey, we love to talk about all the good things happening in fire athletics, and those things can't happen without the support of our sponsors. The sponsor for today's show is Peterson & Myers, PA. Peterson & Myers takes pride in the accessibility of their experienced attorneys and in the thoughtful and innovative manner they solve problems for clients. In addition to legal skills, Peterson & Myers is personally and deeply involved in the communities in and around Polk County. Peterson & Myers, PA, an official partner of Fire Athletics. Well, usually we highlight the sports teams in this last segment, but today we're going to turn to something kind of behind the scenes that makes all the difference in how our teams compete, and it's strength and conditioning, a very important part of what we do in fire athletics.
Yes.
And here with us today is our head strength and conditioning coach, Austin Dillard, and with him, one of our men's tennis students, Sam Reeder. Welcome to the show, both of you.
Thank you for having us.
Being here.
Yeah, it's great to have you.
And when you talk about strength and conditioning, I mean, this is kind of your area.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, every day, man, I'm working hard at it. So I've been. By the way, a good question. Do we have our own cold plunge machines here, or we just have ice baths?
We should get one.
We have
I love
ice
cold
baths.
plunges.
All right,
yeah.
we got to add that in the budget.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Can you commit on air that when we get the price, you...
Oh wow, you're really setting me up, aren't you?
No, we will definitely get. We'll see if we can. What we need to do is try and fundraise for that, because that is a game changer.
Yeah, no, I've been cold plunging a lot, and what a difference it makes, man.
Do they have that over at? Where do you work out?
Well, I work out at Crunch. We provide gym
That's right.
memberships at Crunch, which is great for all of our students and staff, faculty. But then I go to another place that has all those amenities.
Okay.
So.
All right, we'll work on that.
Yeah.
All right, so Austin, how long have you been at SCU? And tell us about where you're from, your family, and what brought you here to Lakeland.
So it's my second year here, coming up on the end of the second year, and born and raised North Georgia. Went to Georgia Southern for undergrad.
Okay.
I met my wife Hannah there, and was at a school in Tennessee. Got this opportunity, and have been absolutely loving it ever since.
Awesome.
That's great. Sam, what about you? What year are you, and what brought you to SCU? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so this is my third year at SU, but I'm in the grad program because I came in with some credits. So I'm doing my master's, doing my MBA. I got my undergrad in marketing. And then I'm actually born and raised in Lakeland, Florida. I live 2 minutes away. So that's why it's actually easy for me to get here a lot. I just bike, so I don't have to deal with parking.
Boy, that's great.
Yeah. I've been here my whole life, so it's fun that I ended up here.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Great. You're part of the team, man.
Well, as the president said, you play tennis. Okay,
Yeah.
so when people think strength and conditioning, they think football.
Yeah.
They think
Right.
they think wrestling. You got these big guys, but it's really important in all of our sports that we're as strong as we can be. So, how do you feel your time in the weight room has helped you on the court?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. People don't usually think of us when they think of strength and conditioning. I was hoping there wasn't going to be video because I was like, they're probably expecting somebody bigger for the strength and conditioning segment.
Well, we actually do have a highlight we're going to bring up here.
Yeah, right. But it is really important for what we do. I mean, something we talk about a lot is just staying healthy, and it is hard to stay healthy in any sport. And I've just found for me, like we were talking the other day about literally just tendonitis, and I've had problems with my knee, problem with my elbow, problem with my shoulder, and I told him like every time, like a doctor tells you like you just got to rest, but every time I come back I still have the same problem, so I go to the gym to try and find solutions. For me as a kid, like it was simple stuff, just pull-up bar in my house, trying to figure out how to get my shoulder stronger so that it didn't hurt when I played tennis. But also, like, I think tennis is one of like the most underrated physical sports out there. The higher level you get, the more intense it is. Right. And so for me, I've always seen strength and conditioning as kind of my like gift in tennis. I'm not probably the most technically gifted player. I've been around the sport a lot less than other people, but I've always just been like, all right, I'm going to work as hard as I can. And when I step out on that court, like I know I'm in better shape than the other guy, if nothing else.
Yeah,
it's good.
That's great. Coach, one of the words that I use often, Drew hears it all the time, but it's the word discipline. Discipline is so important, especially I'm sure in your area. So talk a little bit about discipline with our athletes, and has that changed or adjusted as you've coached, and how do you approach it?
I'd say discipline, I really try and get the weight room to carry over to real life, right? Yeah. So if you're not disciplined in your everyday life, good things probably aren't going to happen. So if you've got a lift scheduled at X time, show up. From the very get-go, you have to be disciplined, show up on time. But then what does the rest of the lift look like? Like, coach can't watch every single set, every single rep. So are you skipping reps? Very undisciplined. It might feel easy at the time, but that lack of discipline is not going to do well for you. So I'd say discipline is a very big thing. And if you don't show it in the weight room, you probably don't show it in the rest of your life. Right.
Well said. That's great.
Sam, tell us about the value of having someone like Austin in your life and built into the experience of your team. I'm sure you don't always feel like getting to the weight room and working out. But what are some of the things Austin does to help motivate you to get over the hump and turn that day into a great workout?
Yeah, I mean, I've always told people when they ask me about my experience at Southeastern, like what's made it special is that the staff has always just been so personable. I mean, the fact that you get an opportunity to not only meet everybody you're working with, but talk to them daily. And I even asked him, like, okay, I was like, why'd you think of me? And we were just like, going back to when he got here, like I just immediately felt like I had a relationship with the person I was working with. And I would come in during like the summer and off hours and stuff, and he'd write me my own workout. And so it was just like that personal where I felt like, okay, if I need something, he's going to like actually take some time, stop and think, okay, like how can I help Sam improve? Like I'm looking for like ways to get quicker or ways to be more explosive or ways to be able to last longer on the court. And, he's actually like, all right, like let's think of some exercises. Let's think of some things that can help you individually as opposed to just the whole team.
And we probably need a whole other show to talk about how you deal with the different levels of discipline and we have 570 student athletes. They're not all wired the same.
They're not all like Sam.
Is there gray up there? You have any gray yet? Because you should. We really commend you for the work you do with Sam and everybody else.
Our word of the year is fuel the fire. So what does that mean to both of you?
You want it?
No, you can go first.
So fuel the fire. One of the biggest aspects I love of my job is that I get to pour into the athletes I work with. It's not I get to work with athletes all day, show up in basketball shorts like some coaches will joke about. I get to truly have relationships with Sam like he was just speaking about. And I really want to pour into and fuel those athletes and let them be the best that they can be, not only physically, but mentally and spiritually.
No, that's great.
I think for me, like, even going back to like his thing with discipline and just like the fact that it shows up in all aspects of your life, one of the things I've always loved about like my team and my coaches and everything is like they always say like it's what you want it to be. Like if you want to go out there every single day in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, we're going to be there with you. If you want to just do the bare minimum, we're going to help you and we're going to find ways to help you improve. But I mean, you think about a fire, it's like you can make that fire as big as you want with however much fuel you want. And so like it's just what you want to put into it. And for me, like I've never found when I asked, is there an opportunity to grow, that somebody told me, hey, like there's just not. Like every time I look for a resource, I look for a person who's helping, there's always somebody who's like, yeah, like I'll be there with you. Like I'm not just going to like give you something to do and just say, hope it goes well. They're like, I'm going to be out there with you at 8 a.m. and work on the courts. I'm going to be out there with you during my lunch break and give you a workout when I'm not on the clock and I don't have to.
That's great.
So.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Thank you both for joining us today on the show. And Coach, just appreciate the way you serve our athletes, and very important role that you play. And so thank you for that. And Sam, keep up the great play, and wish you both well as you kind of head down that final stretch of the semester.
It's coming up quick,
rapidly closing out.
Yeah, thanks so much for what you guys do.
Thank you.
I mean, it's the behind the scenes work is sometimes the toughest, and you guys get it done. So thank you.
Appreciate that. Well, Drew, that's a wrap for today. I want to make sure we remind everyone to come out and support our teams on a big home weekend in fire athletics. Baseball versus Weber Thursday at 6, Friday at 2, Saturday at 12. Men's and women's tennis versus St. Thomas on Friday. Kaiser on Saturday, both days at 1 p.m. Softball versus Coastal Georgia Friday at 2 and 4, and then Saturday at noon.
And make sure you visit SUFire.com for the latest news in fire athletics. You can find the event calendar there, as well as a link to watch all of our home games, actually all of our games anywhere for free, including all this weekend's action. So let's have a great weekend.
Yeah, thanks everybody, and go Fire.
Go Fire.